Hey, what is up guys? Back again with another video. So there's quite a lot of news to talk about today, especially with Naughty Dog. So I haven't made a video in a bit, but I've been meaning to make this video for a little bit of time since yesterday. But let's discuss about the news that came out from Naughty Dog that released a statement talking about factions. So we know factions has been in the work for quite some time now, back when part 2 was still in development, and that it would be scheduled to be its brand new own game. So they were going to completely make factions its own game rather than be a part of part 2. So with that said, Naughty Dog fans have been waiting for some time for some faction news, especially since we thought this would be the time. This would be the year that we would get some news. Any sort of snippets that we'd get from them would be just fine. I don't personally think. If we even got a teaser for it or just an official announcement, that would have been just enough. But unfortunately, we did not get that, as we got a recent update from Naughty Dog that posted on Twitter and social media saying, "The Last of Us fans, we know many of you have been looking forward to hearing more about our Last of Us multiplayer game. We're incredibly proud of the job our studio has done thus far. But as development has continued, we realized what is best for the game is to give it more time. Our team will continue to work on the project as well as other games in development, including a brand new single-player experience. We look forward to sharing more soon. We're grateful to our fantastic community for your support. Thank you for your passion for our games. It continues to drive us." So with Naughty Dog's recent statement, they do address the fact that there has not been information on factions, and of course that they are currently taking their time with it, which is completely fine, honestly. If the team needs more time, that's totally understandable, but the thing is that there's more to the story than what they released. Bloomberg Trish and Schreier released an article talking about The Last of Us multiplayer and the state of it. The article goes on to talk about the state of The Last of Us multiplayer and where it's been going and what has been going on throughout Sony trying to work with it, and also Bungie. So as we know, Sony's trying to push all the games as a service model to all their games, including The Last of Us multiplayer. So some Sony representatives wanted to look into The Last of Us multiplayer and decided to bring Bungie into the mix. Bungie being the developers of the Halo series and the Destiny franchise. Bungie came in to help out with The Last of Us multiplayer, to help out with the games as a service model that Bungie is known for, especially with Destiny. Bungie came in and questioned about The Last of Us multiplayer state, and questioned if it can even currently live in the game as service model that Sony wants for other games, which set Naughty Dog back to work back on the game itself. So with this delay in mind, it makes sense that Naughty Dog isn't ready to share information on factions just yet, because Sony and Bungie are currently helping out with the factions multiplayer and making it more in line with the games as a service model. Which to me personally, that is just a weird idea to think about, and just feels really uncalled for to do that to Naughty Dog, because while Naughty Dog is good at making single player experience games, I also think they're really good at the multiplayer aspect. Of course, usually when it comes to Naughty Dog titles with multiplayer modes in them, they last for at least a year or so before they move on to their next single player title. But I've always enjoyed the Naughty Dog multiplayers. They have that little charm to them that no other big AAA titles or games as a service games have. So to know that Bungie is going to be evaluating how The Last of Us Factions multiplayer is going to be like is honestly a bit scary. And in some way a bit worrisome, because I'm wondering how the factions will turn out once the product releases. Don't get me wrong, Bungie is a great developer. They've shown that they can make games as a service model, and impactful and in a living state. They've proven that with the Destiny franchise. And to see them provide and assist Naughty Dog with their next Factions multiplayer project is in some way exciting, because this will likely mean that Factions will continuously keep going as a service for quite some time, compared to the previous Naughty Dog titles that have only lasted for at least 1 or 2 years. In some ways it gets me excited because of the life of the next Faction game will likely last longer, as much as Naughty Dog wants to put into the effort of keeping it alive. I'm sort of in the mixed bag of seeing the good news about this, but then also the bad news about this, because this could either go good or south. And with this delay being announced, who knows how drastically the Factions will be when it releases. We obviously are getting something more ambitious than the previous Factions. We're likely going to get way more than just 4v4 matches, as the concept art we have seen to go off of something. I do have hope that this will turn out great, and by the end of it, it'll be worth the wait. But nonetheless, I'm very excited for Factions either way. Hopefully this turns out the way that people want it to. I hope it turns out the way that I want to, and that this game can live on for as long as it can be. I should also mention as well, Naughty Dog did mention that they're working on a brand new single player experience, which obviously is no surprise of course, but I just thought I would mention that as well. But of course we probably won't see that for a very long time. But either way, Factions seems to have been on a bumpy road, but I do have hopes, and I know Naughty Dog will make this the best product they can make it for multiplayer as a games as a service title. And once we see that announcement, we'll be excited as hell to play it, and hopefully launch this around the day it gets announced. But alright guys, that is it for this video. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update on Factions and currently where it's going at the moment. As I said, Bungie is a great developer. They can make amazing games as a service games, but the fact that they're working with Naughty Dog with Factions and make changes seems a little weird to me personally, since I feel like Naughty Dog has a certain way of making multiplayer titles, so having a developer that focuses on multiplayer makes sense, but also just weird at the same time. But we'll see how that turns out. But anyways guys, that is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think about this whole situation going on. But until next time, we'll see you guys later.